Hi, my name is Daniel and I'm gonna demo the Go Hedger system, which is a system that is designed to keep the endurance coach, closer to his athletes by several services that I'm gonna demo right now. The system is customized for each group. It's a personal engine or group engine that is customized and branded for the group. Each group will have its own sport engine with mobile applications on iOS and Android. I'm going to demo it on a live group which is working right now. The group name is Nitro, which have athletes that are practicing for triathlons, marathons, swim and cycling. Okay, so we will look at my user, which is Daniel, and pretend that I've just downloaded the application. And as soon as I download the application, the coach can see my profile on the coach console. You can see his practices, and you can see his totals for the week, and that way the coach can know how much was done out of the planned low duration and distance in each discipline: cycling, running, and swimming. On this profile, the coach can see general information about the athlete, physical condition, injuries, goals, best results. The system retrieve automatically from all kinds of sites, experience, and self-ranking. The athlete can self-rank himself or herself in each discipline. Of course, we have the working zones in pace, heart rate, and power, and those are editable by the coach and the athlete, and they will react to actual practices the athlete will perform. Okay. Additionally, the coach can manage his athletes under subgroups. Each discipline has its own subgroups, and once the coach relates an athlete, I will relate myself to a group bike E under cycling discipline, and we can see that under that group I'm the only one that is listed right now. So any practice that will be located on the group calendar will be available for all the athletes listed on this group. Any edit that will be done on the group calendar will be available for all athletes in the group. But if the coach wants to edit the practice specifically for that athlete, he can go into his calendar and give him specific notes. If the athlete is related to several groups, he will get the practices from all those groups' calendar, and that way it will be very easy for the coach to manage his groups and subgroups and even specific athletes. In a minute I will project my own device, and I will show how the information is interacting between the coach and the athlete. Okay, additionally on the athlete, I will now show Amit David, which is preparing for the Ironman. We can see his week plan, we can see his totals, we can see which groups Amit is related to, and we can see his performance. The performance is actually statistics that we are collecting using all the practices he's done for a certain period, and the coach can know how his athlete is progressing, what is his fatigue, and God forbid is on a verge of a injury or something like that. Up until the green line, it's the actual practices that Amit done, and from the green line and on, it's the predicted performance. Should Amit will perform the plan as the coach planned for him, this is the physical state he will be in the end of this weekly plan. Several systems give this information, but we enable our coaches to calculate their own experience within this algorithm. Let's say, for an instance, that the coach thinks that everyone over 40 in a cycling practice with the temperature over X will the load will be different for this specific practice and athlete. We can calculate the coach understanding of this practice inside this algorithm, and that way coaches can bring their own beliefs about coaching into the system. This is part of the customization we are doing for the coaches, excluding the private engines and branding. Of course, each coach can create his practices. Let's say run 4, warm up, 70% heart rate on load of 160, and we have now a new practice called run 4, and we can reuse it over and over again, whether it's the subgroup, add activity, we'll select run, we will find our new created activity and locate it on the calendar. The coach can also create an ad hoc workout. Let's say it does not exist in the warehouse and he wants to give a practice that is not reusable, then you can create ad hoc activity and locate it on calendars. If the coach wants to know who's participating in the practice and who's done it or not, you can get this list within the practice information. The coach can also perform multiple actions on several athletes. Let's say I'm selecting all those athletes and clicking here. I can send a message, an email to those athletes, and this is regarding the management of groups and athletes in the system. Let's look at a practice report. For instance, let's view a Amit practice from yesterday. We can see his totals. We can see his laps. We can view it on map. We can click one of the lap and highlight it on the map and understand the terrain regarding this lap. And the coach can also analyze the information regarding the practice. I'll switch off all those parameters. And let's say the coach wants to examine the pace and compare it to the heart rate. Okay, so he's switching on the pace and the heart rate, and he can analyze the practice with those two parameters, and he can choose whatever he wants from this list of parameters. This way we don't have to separate all the information to multiple graphs, rather see it on one graph and understand the information better. Let's say I told Amit not to go over his zone 2, and I want to make sure that Amit actually done that. I can select Amit run zone 2, and it's the blue one over here, and I can immediately see that in the most of the practice he was under his zone 2. So as his coach, I need to talk to him about it and understand why he was under zone 2. Okay, this was a short demo regarding the coach console. I will now present the mobile, and I will jump from the mobile to the coach console to demonstrate the interaction between the coach and the athlete. Okay, so let's go to my okay, let's look at the mobile. Okay, this is my screen. You can see several groups that are working with us. We have amateur groups and we have professional groups working with us, and I will demonstrate it on Nitro. On the mobile, the coach can see additional stuff that the athlete can't see. For instance, the coach can see the list of athletes, and he can see what practices were performed by the athlete. For instance, Irit Rosen performed run and probably gym practice today. And he can filter them by disciplines and subgroups. But what the athlete can see is this screen. This is the first screen for the athlete, and the first screen is his performance graph, the totals, how much he's done within the weekly plan, and you can see his calendar. So let's we can see that on the 7th I don't have any practice. Let's go for a second back to the coach console and add a new practice for me on the 7th. We will add Sagiv practice on the 7th, and if you will go back to the mobile and reload the calendar, we can see a new plan on the 7th. If I click it, I can see the coach instructions, and if I want to understand where the practice will go through, the points on the map that the practice will go through, I can see the start over here, I can see checkpoints over here, I can see the finish, I can see the T2, the transaction to run over here. And if I don't understand how to get to the start of the practice, I can click it and my navigation application will open and take me to the rendezvous of the practice. So I'll close the navigation application right now and go back to the application. If I will present it, but if the athlete synced a practice, then he will be able to see his totals over here, and the totals will be synced to the coach plan. For instance, let's look at the practice on the 1st. and I can see a practice, and I can see its parameters, and I gave my coach a note, and I gave this note because I wasn't with my sport computer, and in those cases, for athletes that don't have sport computer, or forgot it, or it's not accurate for a reason, they can adjust the training. They can say, okay, I didn't do a brick practice, but I've done a running practice, and I've performed it without a watch, and it was 71 minutes, 13.1 kilometers with a load of 113, and I can say, hey coach, hey coach, it was very hard for me today, and now I can save it, and I can see the info from the practice, and this is my note. Let's go back to the coach console, and okay, now I can see the note from the athlete. I will comment back, okay, why didn't you sleep well again? And of course, this comment will be from me to me because it's the same user, but it's designed to be from the user to the coach and back. Okay, so if I'm going back to the mobile view again, I can see the comment from the coach. Of course, the user is enabled with editing his profile, his profile image. He can edit all his work zones and goals and self-ranking very easily. He can sync his device. This is a one-time process that he's enabling our system to get the information from Garmin or Suunto. And from that point on, each practice that will be synced will be available for his coach without any additional steps. For athletes that don't have sport watch or sport computer, we have our own, and the athlete can select cycling, for instance, and now we can start practice that will be recorded for his coach. And this specific calculator, a sport computer, is also used for the live tracking. For instance, when I was practicing for the Ironman, our coach sent us for individual cycling, and because we didn't ride in a peloton, the coach had very hard time to understand the location of each athlete. So this is now used to understand where is the athletes and help the coach understand the image of the practice. He can get some of the live parameters of the athlete. He can understand where he needs to locate himself or stuff like that. And that is it for the sport computer. Additionally, on the coach console, I wanted to show something regarding the plan. The coach can also create a program. Let's say you want to create a long-term program for a marathon or Ironman or I don't know what. He can create a new program, prog name, description, week 1, and now he can use is practices from the warehouse to populate all weeks regarding this program. Of course, he can add additional weeks, but let's stop here. We have a program of 1 week with 3 practices named prog name. Now it's available for us. If I will go to the cycling group and populate the calendar from here with a program, it will populate all the program in the calendar, and it will be available immediately for the athletes. I can now go to my athlete and give him specific orders, or change some stuff specifically for him, or I can do it for the complete group from the group calendar. What is now under process and will be available soon, all the subgroups of each discipline will be automatically converted, or we will create products on a store, electronic store, and that way we will enable a very streamlined process where the athlete will pay the coach without interacting directly with the coach. So the coach can be focused on being a coach and nothing else. And by that, maybe increase the number of athletes he can manage without additional hassle. This was a very short demo of the Go Hedger system. Thank you.